Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Paperback Club Podcast. This is episode number 6. My name is Aliyes. With me as always is Richard Knox and
Hello.
Brandon Malones. How we doing, everybody?
Great.
Doing well.
Good. So I just got a couple things I want to hit before we actually start. Starting with a couple of questions. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, just leave a comment down below as to your answers for any one of the 4. So just real quick. Would you prefer 2 30-minute videos a week or 1 1-hour video every week? Second, do you watch or do you listen to the podcast? Third, do you prefer a single camera like we've been doing for the last couple of episodes or a multi-camera setup like we had in, I believe, the first or the second episode? I think it was the first one. And lastly, how do you feel about us doing a live stream on either Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch and doing like a live Q&A? Just let us know your answers down below. We are looking for all the comments, and we appreciate all the support recently. And anything else regarding that? I'll cut this out because I fucked up what I was going to say.
No, don't cut it out because we say that we appreciate the support a lot, but we really do.
Really do.
And it not even like we're not receiving any monetary support at this time, and that's not what we're aiming for right now. In the future, that's a thing. But right now, just the shares, the likes, the comments, the DMs, the keep it going, the people who are watching through the video, we really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's already been a great experience, so I'm looking forward to
Episode 6, we've been doing it successfully every Friday for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
It's
cool.
crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's already been over a month.
Episode 6.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though. But today we're talking about collecting or collections in general.
Mm-hmm.
See, we already made a list.
Hoarding.
Yeah, I guess that's technically collecting.
Collecting junk.
So we went ahead and did a top 3 list of things we collect, or at least try to. I think I have 4, but we'll see how this goes. My first one, I'm gonna not do yours just because you do that a little more. One of my top 3 picks for collecting is watches.
Watches.
Yeah, I prefer Fossil.
I do have I think 4 Fossil watches myself, one being a smartwatch.
Which I want to get one of those.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing it today, but I'm always flicking around on it and trying to look at stuff.
They're real nice. I think I have 6 watches in total. Of the 6, 5 are Fossil. One of them was a Pebble smartwatch, but it wasn't like a touchscreen one.
Oh, gotcha.
It was my first smartwatch I ever had. It synced to my phone through Bluetooth, and it had some cool features, but it was mostly just like an exterior phone, very minimal. Like I can see if someone messaged me, but it won't show me what it said.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think watches are cool, whether it's design or usability.
Yeah, my girlfriend buys all my watches, so she's like adamant that if I get a watch, that she buys it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool.
My dad, I believe he only wears Fossil as well, and that's how I got started onto it, because I believe he bought me my first watch at an outlet.
Yeah. Well, they're not like super cheap either, and they're not like breaking the bank expensive, but they're really good quality, and they come in all sorts of different designs, which I think is really cool to really match whatever you're trying to do.
Different outfits and
yeah,
stuff.
whatever you're trying to wear for that day, so it's always really cool.
Yeah, I try to get a different type of watch, whether it's like a metal bracelet or like a leather one, just kind of switch it up. But I definitely want to get one of those smartwatches. I think it's called a Fossil Q.
Yeah, Q something. I don't even
Something
remember.
like that, yeah.
But I love it. You can change the faces on my smartwatch to match whatever I'm doing. When it was Halloween, I did like a jack-o'-lantern, or on my birthday I did Leo, because it's Leo season. I think that's over now.
I've never been into. I've had a smartwatch before. I had that Apple. I think it was the 2nd generation Apple Watch, and I really liked it. But watches in general, I don't know. I guess because the cell phone.
Yeah,
and it's just so easy to pick up. I mean, it's just as easy to turn your wrist, but
I think for me it's more of like an accessory thing. Is I don't wear a lot of jewelry, so watch is like the closest thing I get to having like jewelry. So
I know in middle school, did either of you ever have those I Heart Boobies bracelets?
oh yeah, dude.
Big
I
time.
did not.
Oh,
have
yeah.
that
What?
bracelet, no.
Or save the
Richard Knox
tatas.
doesn't support breast cancer? What?
It's almost October.
Yeah, I do not support breast cancer.
We're going to
Let
have
me get the
to.
word out. I do not support.
We are not
breast
Dave
cancer.
Chappelle. We cannot talk like this.
Yeah. I think it might have some kind of like a fixation or something, having something on your wrist or some kind of like. I've never been one for like big jewelry. Like I don't wear necklaces or I have one ear here, but I don't have it in.
Right. I guess I wear jewelry because I have my septum.
Yeah, I guess.
Septum is pierced. That's true.
And then 3 rings right here. But
yeah, I mean, watches are pretty cool for me. I even get one of those little boxes that you can stash them in and look
Oh
at
yeah, I
them.
have one of those
That's
too.
really
It fits
cool.
only 4 though.
Mine's a
Yeah.
6 that come
Fossil
out.
has some, but they're super expensive.
They're really nice too, though.
Yeah.
have you
I wanted
ever
to get
like
one.
delved into like watchmaking? That would be a pretty cool thing.
Well, I've seen a video of someone making a watch. It seemed like I'm not a puzzle guy.
Mhm.
I hate puzzles, so watchmaking was like an ultimate puzzle.
Yeah,
that
you're
I'm like
really-
not about.
Think of like 100 years ago, maybe, I mean, if they were producing, mass
Imagine
producing.
the asshole that made it.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, like think of like the micro, almost engineering and metalwork that you have to do to get these minuscule
Like
cogs. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So,
crazy.
I think there's actually a documentary on that I've been wanting to watch.
Yeah, that's
Or it
kind
might
of what I was
be,
getting at. Like it would be really interesting to
Like
look
a how
into.
it's made
Right.
a video or episode. I think those are pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I can imagine like with a little teeny hammer.
Right.
Yeah,
Or
like a
maybe
little
screwdriver.
And I mean, now it's all done by machines.
Yeah.
But you still have those
Like the
certain
pieces
companies.
are made by machines.
Right.
Well, I'm sure some watches
Is it
are probably
assembled?
made
That's
by
what I'm
assembled
saying.
by machines.
I'm sure that there are some people who are still
Probably
hand
most.
crafting.
Yeah.
I don't
They're
know
probably
about
super
most.
expensive.
I don't know most.
To find someone who can build a watch?
Oh yeah.
Each watch individually?
Right. I'm saying that is really rare.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's what I'm
Gotcha,
saying.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that would be really rare to like.
I bet you it's super
I feel like it's like
expensive.
a dead language almost. Like people
Mhm.
aren't having
It's
to do
a
this.
sea watch.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much. It's the Latin watch.
The Latin
Yeah,
watch.
I want to get a little pocket watch just to add to the collection.
That would be
Yeah.
cool. Now,
Yeah.
pocket watches are pretty swift, man. You just pull it out and swing it a little bit.
Mhm.
Well,
That's
people
what we
know
were
you're about
talking about,
business.
the little pocket on
Yeah,
the pants. He had
yeah.
his knife in the little pocket. He goes, I think this is what it's for. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's for a pocket watch.
Mhm.
So they used to put it back in the day. They like hook it onto the belt loop and
Mhm.
the chain, and then it'd be in that pocket. You just pull it out and put it back in.
Mhm.
I'm like, man, why didn't they think about putting it on your wrist or
Because I mean,
something?
you could be
first?
like an old school like villain, and like right when the hero's about to kill you, you just crush your watch and like give this to my son, so he knows who this.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear it in my pants though. I'd want to have a vest and have like the
Oh,
chain
yeah,
link
yeah.
down with the vest. I just pulled out.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I thought you just had it hanging on your like your Flavor
Yeah.
Flav. Like,
Oh, yeah, one giant clock.
think of the people who won't get that Flavor Flav reference right now.
That's what I said. Y'all never seen the
Silence.
flavor of love? Come on.
So, what you got on your list?
Well,
Slide back
my
out.
first one? Ooh, my first one's the big one, obviously.
Should we start with the big one?
Yeah, we should
Oh.
start. Well, we should end with the big one.
End with the big one.
Yeah.
Okay, then one of the smaller ones, I guess it's small, is I like to collect retro gaming consoles.
Mhm.
I like to collect all consoles. I don't have an Xbox One because I'm more of a Sony fan, but growing up, we had all these consoles, and eventually over time, they just, they get lost or sold or whatever they break, you throw them away. And when I met Jamie, she had an original Sega and Nintendo. Now we've just been collecting. A couple years ago, she got me a Super Nintendo for my birthday, and that was probably one of my favorite birthday presents from Jamie. She got me all 3 Donkey Kong countries for it. And if anyone knows me, I love Donkey Kong. I love the Super Nintendo. That's like my generation. That was like the big system when I was a little kid. And I remember going through and playing Super Nintendo and playing Donkey Kong Country with my dad and brother. So that was like, it was real sentimental to be able to get that back. But I have a whole bunch. I have the original Nintendo. I have Super Nintendo. We had like 2 Dreamcasts. I have the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and I have the PlayStation 4 right now. I have Xbox 360. We have all sorts of cool consoles. I have like handhelds. It's just cool. I have like a cube organizer in my game room where each one's like in its own separate.
Those are going to be. I'm going to just. I'm going to Nostradamus this right now. In like 10 years, the cool thing is going to be the retro thing is going to be having a Game Boy Color. I promise you.
Oh,
if it's not
probably.
already, because I mean, you can't. Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue. That's like a $50 purchase.
Yeah.
If you find somebody who's willing to part with it at $50. You go to any of these. Yeah, I mean, we go to Planet Fun in Savannah,
Mhm.
and they're selling silver for like $60.
Big time.
It's a
I'm just
brand new
like,
game.
What?
Yeah.
Like, I understand the nostalgia, but once you get into the game and you log in your 15 hours and you have your starter at, you don't want. That's not $60. Like,
No, true.
you're
especially
buying
now
nostalgia,
that-
is what you're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially now because we've all played those games, so we know the ins and outs. Like when they came out with Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee for the Switch, it was basically just like the original games, just updated. So it was easy to burst through and do everything super quick, and then you're just kind of like, oh, well, here we are.
The worst purchase I made in the last 3 years was Let's Go Eevee. Most assuredly.
Well, I thought it was cool.
Thanks, Nintendo. No, it wasn't. It was like, hey guys, we know you're wanting to wait for Sword and Shield, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna release Pokemon Go, and we're gonna skin it as if it was Pokemon Blue or Red, and we're gonna sell it to you. It's the same game, but you don't get to fight anybody except for trainers. No, fuck that. I'm done. Have you played the Let's Go? So in Let's Go, we can cut as much of this out as if you want, because I'm literally about to go into this right now. This really pissed me off. Okay, yeah, we'll just go on. We'll that's another episode.
Yeah, there you go.
Worst games ever purchased.
There we go. That'll be a good topic.
Yeah.
Whew, I can go on about how bad that game was, man.
So tune in next week.
It was quick. I said you bought it for $60, and then it was.
Okay, so you collected game consoles.
Yeah, game consoles. What about you? What's something that you like collecting?
Where is my list? That's a better question. Okay, well, off rip, I know what my list is. So I like to collect records, vinyls, maybe not the most expensive ones, maybe not the best condition ones, but I'm not trying to resell them, right? Like, so if something means something to me, I'm going to pick it up on vinyl.
Princess Purple Rain.
I do have Princess Purple Rain, or I did have Princess Purple Rain.
Nice.
So, like, for instance, like, I really like, when I was young, I really liked the Chipmunks, like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Hell yeah.
I love that shit, right?
Yeah.
So I would be, I'll go into a thrift shop and I'll find Chipmunk Punk or Chipmunk Pop Hits, and they're all from like the 80s.
Yeah.
But it's just like
was big,
the
man.
early version before the
Michael
MySpace
Jackson
and the
put you on
Facebook
that.
chipmunking shit.
Yeah.
It's like the original cast doing covers. I mean, I could go on about vinyls too. Like, I love Rush, and Rush has an extensive collection. Queen has an extensive collection. So it's just like, man, anything with John Lennon a part of it is it's something to have.
Now, do you have those like in just like a box, like the original packaging?
Yeah. So I have all of my vinyls in a vinyl crate.
Okay.
So they make these specific crates that kind of look like milk crates, but they're shaped to fit
Almost
vinyls.
like the crates we have for the paper bags at the store.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But it's more geared towards fitting like perfectly vinyls.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I used to have like several of them.
Have you ever hung any of them up?
So that's funny that you say that. What I used to do, because I'm not reselling them and because they're my property, sorry guys if this pisses you off, I would take the vinyls out, keep them in their sleeves, their paper sleeve that is inserted into the cardboard sleeve. Because like a vinyl comes in a paper sleeve, and then that paper sleeve is inserted into like the outer shell, which is the album work. So I would take
a bag of cheese, and there's that little parchment paper in each cheese.
Right. So I'll take the vinyl out with the paper sleeve intact, and I'll sleeve it in like a carrier, and then I would plot the album work and just make it a wallpaper. So like my room, 4 or 5 years ago, there was no wall visible. It was all album artwork. Because I had a ridiculous collection, a dumb collection, man. Like,
do you have a vinyl player? Like,
so recently, mine
called?
Yeah,
record player.
Record player, yeah.
I had one. I've gone through like 2 or 3, but
I brought one for Christmas once.
And it broke. I think somebody stepped on it. Yeah, it was my fault for leaving it out.
It was a newer one though. It had like Bluetooth in it or something.
Yeah.
You could hook up your phone and like it was also a speaker, but you could put the record on it. It was really cool.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some things you're just not going to get the same quality, like especially like 60s and 70s like soul music, like because those cracks and the way that the record plays. Like, I'm not an elitist, like, or I would have like $2,000, I forget what they're called, but they're like the perfect quality you can get from records through a player, So I'm not going for the quality as much. So that's when you put on something from the 60s and 70s and you hear that crack and you hear the skip a little bit. It's like, okay, cool. This is dated. Like, this is somebody used this.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really love records a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah, real quick, one find. I bought a John Lennon album. It was his solo album, Imagine. It was kind of pricey. It was like $40. But it's an album that you shouldn't go without if you're a fan of John Lennon. And when I bought it for $40. When I unpacked the album just to see what kind of condition it was in, it came with an 8x10 headshot, like a headshot of John Lennon that he would use to pass out.
Oh,
yeah,
that's what's up.
And
that's
a postcard that he posed for that. I haven't seen often. I don't know if it's rare or not. I know the 8x10 is original because it has wear as if it was a real photo. The postcard, I don't know how original that is. Somebody could have picked it up at like a Beatles museum or something.
Yeah, true.
But it was really cool. Like,
yeah,
people will shove stuff in albums and forget about it and then thrift them. And then you have original content that it came with. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. It's like buying one and say, "Oh, look, someone left $10,000."
Right? That would be awesome, right?
Right.
You open about that with cars at auctions from the police.
I one found that I found almost the whole entire Beatles discography on vinyl in the Goodwill in Bluffton.
Really?
All original prints, $1 a piece.
That's insane.
Because they were just cleaning out their house.
That's
And Goodwill doesn't
hunt.
care.
Part of the hunt.
Yeah.
Which we'll come back to that. All right, I guess I'll go again. Another thing I like collecting is the Marvel Legends series, and I know you guys know what that is. For those listening, it's basically Marvel has like replica toys from the movies. For example, we have Thanos' gauntlet, the Iron Gauntlet from Endgame. They have Captain America's shield, Thor's hammer, and then they have helmets for Iron Man, Black Panther, Star-Lord, and
Punisher.
Punisher's in there. I feel like I'm missing one more. There might be one more, but I think there's about 10 of them out right now, and I have 2. For those watching, it's up here in this corner over here. You might be able to see the box, but they're not in the apartment at the moment. But normally they're over there on the shelf.
Yeah, you could probably see them in the other episodes. Yeah.
I think I use
Or
it
you
for
can just
an
go
outro.
super.dope on TikTok and check out my most viewed TikTok, and that's it.
Yeah, you can see both of them. Those are pretty cool because I'm a huge fan of the MCU, and being able like they're replica like toys. Like I don't really like play with them. I just like to show them off and stuff. They're kind of cool to have, and
they're really cool to have. Really cool.
Yeah, they're expensive, man.
Yeah.
Like you're buying
Don't downplay your gloves,
like
man.
a $20 toy, and even $20 for
Yeah.
a toy. I'm like, what? These things are like $100 a
Yeah,
piece.
it's about 100 piece, and there's about 10 or more of them. They're like big size replicas and stuff, and they're really cool to look at, really cool to have. Anybody I've ever shown them to, they're like, yo, that's crazy. I've never even seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
You can get like the cheap, like, I think it's like plastic ones, like you say the conventions and stuff. Like, those are cool
I've seen
too,
somewhere
but-
it's just like almost like latex.
Yeah.
Type
Super
glove.
tight too.
Yeah, that goes under here.
They're they fit on your hand like a really large glove, and they have like sound effects and light motions, and I know the gauntlets don't have voice lines, but I don't know if the other ones may or may not.
Like the helmets.
Yeah.
They might.
And the shield is real deal too. Like the shield, Captain America's shield's like heavy. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to walk around a convention
Yeah,
with that.
that's
Like,
an arm workout.
like, babe, please, can you carry it just for a little bit?
And maybe the magnetic thing on his back or whatever.
Oh, true. That would have been. That'd be smart.
But I know you can wear the helmets too. It's just I never do.
But I've seen the Black Panther ones out at like Think Geek and
Yeah.
stuff, so where they like open up and you can see and do things up close.
There's some pretty cool stuff with those. But I like collecting those just because I'm a huge fan of the MCU, and it's really cool to have and show off. And like I said, I only have 2 right now, but eventually I would like to have like an entire shelf or 2 shelves just full of them. Just stack like all of like basically the whole Avengers replica and stuff, almost like a MCU museum of sorts.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I also love the MCU. I have like almost all the Blu-rays, so
I think
I
I'm
might
missing
collect those too.
3. Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
In MCU, it's a big.
Yeah, I'm
franchise.
missing Captain Marvel and Civil War. I
And
think.
the new. Oh wait, no, the new Spider-Man's out on DVD.
No, not yet.
Okay. That's
Oh yeah, Endgame came out on my birthday.
Yeah.
And best believe I went and comped that. The store was like 2 per person.
Yeah.
Only buy 2 per person per day. They were afraid they were gonna like sell out. Well, I was
crazy.
gonna buy one, but yeah, I was like, this is the best birthday ever.
Yeah, just wait until 2 weeks later when they re-release it with Pop. Which we'll get
Don't
into.
tell me that.
Should I hit my next one just real quick? Or
Yeah.
So I got another one. So for anyone who knows me, my whole thing is, or my favorite thing I guess would be the Flash.
Mhm.
Flash comic book. I really like the TV show with Grant Gustin and them. We actually met Daniel Panabaker at a Super Florida Super
Yeah,
Con.
we did. He'll
Yeah.
post that picture again.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of Danielle
Yeah, it was
Panabaker.
real good, real nice. But so basically anything Flash, and I feel like everyone has like that one thing that's kind of like, oh, I don't know what to get them. Just get them one of these things. Like for me,
Oh yeah.
if you don't know what to like buy me for like birthday or Christmas or whatever, just anything Flash. Like it could be a picture, it could be a shirt, a hat.
Yeah, for those who don't know,
anything.
there's a light socket literally right by Brandon's head.
You might be able
and
to
it's the
see it over there,
Flash.
yeah. But yeah, I have so much stuff Flash, like things that like aren't even really related. Like I have like you said, like light socket. I got posters, I got hats, T-shirts,
Pops.
jackets, pops. I even have Flash ring
Metal
from the show. Artwork. Yeah, I got I think for a wardrobe.
Your mouse pad.
Yeah,
is
my mouse
huge.
pad. I have some stickers. I have some other stuff too. I'm trying to think, but I had like a lot of Flash stuff.
Hats.
And I think looking back at like one of my outfits, I have enough Flash like apparel, yes, that I could walk out with everything I'm wearing Flash except for underwear, pants, and they sell that.
So I'm going to get you Flash underwear.
Leggings.
Yeah,
Not leggings.
You heard it here first, guys.
He said they make your butt look really good when you wear them.
When you run fast.
Lululemon now coming out with Flash leggings for men. You know they do come out with leggings for men though, and like it's very popular.
I don't know about that
It's
second part.
extremely popular. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I personally know at least one person who spends at least $80.
Was it Cameron that wore Jamie's leggings that one time? Weirdo.
Yeah, big time.
It's 2019, boys.
Yeah, so
It's not 2018 anymore.
Like, I'm not about having a second skin. I can't go that tight.
Yeah, so I have so much stuff related to Flash. Like I said, the whole apparel is everything except for the underwear, and they sell that too. So,
yeah, so I think it has the underoos, is what they
actually,
call
that's
them.
not true. I don't have shoes. That's the only other thing. Underwear and shoes.
If you wore Flash shoes, I would not give you enough hell for that.
Because you wouldn't be able to catch me.
You wouldn't be able to catch me.
I'd be out of here. I'm gonna get the little Flash, the wings on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna be gone.
Okay.
But they're like Nike high top Flash shoes.
They do have.
I think it's like Vans.
So I'm trying to think who did the
Or
DC
Converse.
line. Converse did the DC line,
Converse did.
and you can find high top Flash Converse. Though they'll probably be hard to buy now because they were like 2, 3, 4 years ago that they came out.
I've seen one pair online before, but it didn't look comfortable at all.
Right.
So
I
I probably
don't
feel
think
like
Converses are comfortable.
C2s, bro. The C2s, they do. Yeah.
I need support on top, and Converse is just like that fabric. Yeah,
they look good, but
Oh, I also can't rock high top anything. I
That's
remember
just
once
because
my
you're
mom
putting,
was
you're
going
putting
out.
barriers on you and what you can wear.
Nah, I just don't think I could pull it off. My mom once went out when I was a kid. She goes, "Hey, what kind of shoes you want?" I want black and white Converse low top. And she goes, "Hey, I couldn't find them." Comes back with high top, all black Converse. It's like,
have you seen the girls' high top?
Oh yeah, thigh high Converse. Yeah.
high
Crazy.
Converse.
Thigh high
Do the
Converse.
laces go all the way up?
All the way up.
What?
It's like, hey, I'll be ready in 1 hour. Just let me tie my shoes.
Yeah,
That's
they-
like a fetish thing.
I mean, it's
Just
a,
make
it's
it
a fashion
leather. It's
thing.
okay. It's a
Yeah,
It's a fashion thing.
Some girls
It
can
is.
pull it off. I mean, all
Most
girls
people.
can pull it
I was
off.
about to say everybody can pull off anything.
Yeah, it's just a matter of perception.
Yeah.
Judgment.
No, it's a matter of do you feel confident walking out? Because if you don't, then you're not going to pull it off.
So you
Real
are
talk.
what you think you are.
Is that why?
As cliche
is
as
that
that
why
sounds.
you go everywhere without shoes?
Absolutely.
So look at my feet.
He goes, "Hi, I am comfortable in my feet."
Hey, Albert Einstein says that stimulation on the bottom of your feet maintains brain growth. I don't know if he was a scientist to tell you that. And we did chemicals and bombs and
He's like,
whatnot.
"I know a lot about."
He didn't wear shoes or
physics."
socks.
Yeah, I heard that.
It does
Last thing before
stimulate.
I, sorry. Last thing for my Flash thing is the next thing I want to get is a tattoo right on my left forearm. That's where I'm gonna get one.
That's look at here.
my
I
first
have had a
tattoo.
steady job, but I make terrible decisions.
Fine, I'll get it on my forehead.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I can't wait to get
You might
a
get
tattoo.
sponsored by Flash if you do it on your forehead.
So that's the thing that's gonna round out my outfit.
There you go.
So that's my like go-to thing. Like my girlfriend Marley, her go-to thing is Doctor Who,
And I do love Doctor Who.
and anytime I'm like trying to think of like last minute gift ideas for birthday, anniversary, or Christmas.
Last minute. Oh
I'm
shit!
like-
Today's her birthday.
I'm like, okay, I could go Doctor Who, but I feel like it's kind of a cop out.
Yes, it starts to get that way.
I gotta be a little more creative than that. But worst
Funny
case,
for certain people, like I don't know how much Doctor Who stuff she has, but I think you're collecting of the Flash. It could be anything Flash, and you'd be genuinely happy about it.
Yeah.
Where and I could be completely wrong with Marley when you're saying you feel like it could be a cop out because she might really like it a lot, but there might be something she's just like not interested in having of Doctor Who.
yeah,
I'll just say it like this: I'd give her a Doctor Who thing before I ever gave her a gift card.
Well, hell yeah.
yeah. I mean the
Gift cards are the real cop out.
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna. I,
Like, get
actually,
yourself something, man. Get out of here.
I was saying that coffee mugs was also a cop out,
Yes.
and then
for sure.
yeah, I was like,
What is?
coffee
Coffee
mugs?
Oh, coffee mugs. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but then she found someone who was like this is the perfect gift for this person.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think it might have been the last 2 Christmas parties. And that was this last one. I was telling everybody who was coming. I was like, "We're doing White Elephant.
Yep.
If you buy a freaking cup, a mug, anything
I
like
think we had
that."
bank gift cards too.
Yeah, and gift
Yeah.
cards. I was like, "You're out." I was like, "I have too many cups. I'm tired of getting stuck with cups. I have 2 pantry or cabinets full of cups. I don't have room for cups. So if I get another cup,
I like coffee mugs, but they have to be something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah,
right?
like a logo or like a good catchphrase.
Like, hey guys, if you guys have any Buffy the Vampire cups, coffee mugs,
send them my way.
Send them to. I'll drop my PO box right now. See, I got that.
Yeah, super cop.
Yeah, I actually had a white elephant Christmas one year where everyone brought coffee mugs, and like everyone. What I want to do though, what I think would be cool, is doing a white elephant, but only like the only presents you can buy are
Sex toys.
clothes, as seen on TV.
As seen on TV.
That's better. Yes,
That would
I
be
like
cool.
that, dude. If you don't think I'm buying you a slap
It's the
chop,
slap chop, yeah.
boy, I am getting you a motherfucking slap
I'll
chop.
get you one of those hot dog cutters.
Right?
Yeah, I
The
think that would be
perfect day.
very interesting because it's not like it's like at the end of the day everyone's a loser.
Yeah. Unless you get Flexio.
Yeah, true.
And then
You just put it in everyone's mouth.
I do think, other than that, one time I got like this like dual pack Hershey's mug thing. It came with 2 mugs, so I was not happy. It was like 2 mugs and a whole bunch of like hot chocolate stuff. I was like, what the hell? I think it might have been 2 Christmas parties ago. I left with a megaphone. And my girlfriend has hid it from me. She's tried to throw it away. And I don't use it. Like, she makes it seem like I'm going to wake her up with this, like, a drill sergeant in the middle of the morning. I don't use it, right? But I'm like, man, this is really freaking cool to have a bullhorn just in the house. I can, if someone breaks in, woo, turn on the siren on it, just start speaking loud, "You are breaking and entering."
I don't know if that would stop me, though. I would just know where you were. Or start shooting in that
It
direction.
takes those, like, D-size batteries. I'll throw it if I need to.
So what you got on, what's another one on your list, bro?
Another thing I like to collect is, me and my girlfriend together, we collect autographs, signatures. And it's more like we have a lot of autographs and signatures in our game room, and we also collect other things that we get signed by them. But we also have like a lot of posters and like metal artwork in the room that's signed by people. And most of them, I think there's only like maybe like one thing we have signed that is not someone we actually met. We bought it already signed. That came with a certificate of authenticity. But we talked about going to conventions, and one of my favorite parts about it was the famous people. I love meeting them. I love getting their signature because it's just a constant reminder when I see that I met them instead of just having the memory. And not that having a memory is good. I'm always about trying to experience something rather than like when you're like at a concert and you have your phone up instead of watching the concert, right? And be like, oh, the memory I made is way more important than the picture I took or something like that. Yeah, but I'm like, no, I want something physical that I can have. And be like, they touched this, they signed this, and we have 24 maybe signatures in the room, if not more than that. I love all from like anime voice actors, things like Chris Savage, Sean Schimmel, Todd Haberkorn from Fairy Tail. We got a Tom Holland signed something by him, so it's really cool to go and see them and get their signature, get a little piece of them. I think we went and we got Brandon's signature once just because it's really cool to bring back something and say, hey, this is their thing.
Yeah, I think I hold that really, really, really dear to my heart because it was, I think, last episode, the episode before that, we were talking about interests, and WWE was one of mine, and we talked about convention, and he brought me back a Mankind Mick Foley autographed picture, and it's crazy because I wasn't there for the signature, but to hold it in my hand is like,
this is real.
Yeah, he signed this, like
with Sacco.
Yeah, that's the craziest part too, with Sacco in his hand.
Yeah, I don't think I have any signed artwork or anything.
Well, now I know what I'm getting you for Christmas. Signed flash shoes.
I mean, yeah, those are cool too, though. You know, it's like, hey, I met this person. You have that memory, a little story to tell with it.
I mean, there's people that are like really into collecting like signatures, not from like people now. Like I've seen like Pawn Stars, people come in. They're like, hey, I have this like picture of Abraham Lincoln that they used to mint the penny, and he signed it saying, you know, like this was okay to use or whatever.
And I'm going to offer you about $10 for that.
That's the best.
I gotta bring my guy in.
Yeah, let me bring my guy in. He knows all about this. This is super real. It's about $10,000, pretty much.
Not really.
Yeah, but signatures I think are really cool, and it's something you can display in your house, like artwork as well. Because it's not like they're signing your arm or signing something that's going to deteriorate. It's something you can keep. I do like getting my boobs signed.
I'm just saying, if Christy Carlson Romano would sign anything for me, it would be a part of my body, and then I would go straight to a tattoo parlor, and I would get it tattooed onto my body.
Right on your buttocks.
Yeah.
Or wherever.
Yeah.
That's fine. You want to go next? You want to finish off your big one and cycle back?
I'm just going to do 2.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, the second thing that I guess I collect is graphic novels.
Hell yeah.
But more specifically, Batman graphic novels.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
Man.
I'm not into the cinema. Batman can beat the Flash. I'm not into this.
Travel back to your...
I'm not into.
Batman would beat the Flash.
I'm not into the cinematic universes at all. I don't hate them.
It's good to not be in the DC one.
Yeah.
Except for the Joker movie that's only getting rave reviews.
I'll give you
We'll see.
the,
We'll see.
The trilogy was good.
We'll see.
Oh yeah, Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight.
Of course.
Yeah,
But I don't think at that point they were trying to compete with Marvel. I think they were just trying to put out Batman movies.
Yeah, they did right.
And those are great movies,
Well,
and I love
so.
Batman movies. And some Marvel movies are great. I just haven't seen them, right? But something about the graphic novels, the Batman writers, the Batman illustrators, Miller, Loeb, just to name 2, because they're some of the most iconic, right?
Yeah.
You have the Dark Knight Returns, you have the Longest Halloween, you have the Dark Victory.
Really, because they're so gritty.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
It's so if you're really into true crime TV shows, if you like to listen to true crime podcasts, if you're really into like that detective spirit, you can get that from the movies, and you can get that from the TV shows of Batman.
I don't feel that way with the movies. I don't see there's not a lot where he's like doing detective work.
Well, that's because I think, especially in the Christopher Nolan one, they really focused on how he became Batman, and then after how they became Batman, their main focus was we need a villain.
Yeah.
So the first one you had Ra's al Ghul, you had him training, all that cool stuff, but then the second one, Scarecrow, but then in the second one, Heath Ledger stole the show.
Yeah.
And then the third one, you had so many mixed reviews because Heath Ledger wasn't in it. They didn't do Bane right. They didn't do this right. Batman was, not as Batman as he was in, The Dark Knight Returns or Begins. So it's just like, the cinematic universe isn't something I go by, but the graphic novels are amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I can't even go into the New 52, because the New 52 reboot of Batman, all of them, because they've done several different types of Batman and they rebooted it. So good. Like, so good. And it's just something that you can get lost into, like I said, if you like the detectiveness, because they really try to push that. It's less of the flashy fight scenes and more of the how are we going to get through this.
Yeah, he's very smart.
I love it. It's something that I think I have 80% to probably about 80% of the full arcs, not singles or slims or anything, but full arcs of everything that they've ever done with Batman.
Yeah, I will say the one thing I really like about the DC universe is how they do like different worlds. Like each world, you can have a parallel universe.
Yeah.
Many different. Like I'm sure every superhero in the DCU has like over 100 different variations.
Oh yeah, I went and I saw this thread of they were explaining each different universe because they each have a number, and going through very vaguely just trying to tell you what happened. Basically, with all the superheroes, the big differences between them, and then gave you a graphic of all the superheroes together and how they look different in each one. That was really cool.
Yeah, I really like that because I know...
Because there's 52, right? That's why it's called the New 52, because that's the Universe 52, right?
Yes. Yeah. I know, back to Flash and Batman, there's one universe, Metal.
Oh, Metal,
Yeah,
man.
he was just telling me about that.
Yeah.
Metal, and that one, Batman and Flash combined, and that is
Red Death? Oh my god, he looks so cool.
There's some very interesting things you can do when you combine superheroes like that, and also when they have like alter egos, like when another one I really like is Flashpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's
so
hand down. No offense, because I know both of you have your preference in DC heroes, Green Lantern and Flash. Mine's Batman, but it's like that is the pinnacle of DC writing.
Yes.
Like take away some of the Batman arcs and maybe a Superman arc or two. That is the best thing that has come out in the DC universe.
I agree.
On paper. It's the most fun to read. It's the most they had the most fun with the universe.
Oh yeah,
everything is different. So
what's going to be changed? What have you wanted to do? Do it now.
Yeah. Right. So just to finish up on also just to throw it in there, I collect manga and stuff too. But I'm very particular with my manga. Like it's like typically really generic, like mainstream. I like to read.
Terrible, but
Death Note, Tokyo Ghoul.
you have the full set of those?
I do. One Punch Man.
For Death Note, do you have the individual ones, or did you buy?
I have the black editions.
Okay, cool. Yeah, those are cool.
So I have all 5 black editions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
like
it's one of my favorite story arcs. Just because like I remember the first time going through it for the first time after watching the series, and it's just like not only is this like page for scene, like it's the same thing, but it's like it has the same anxiety. It has the same like, oh my god, he's gonna get caught. Oh, it's over now. And then you flip, and it's like he got himself out. And it was just really good.
I remember watching the show. I think I watched it first, and I read it actually. And even when I watched it the first time through, I was like, how did he do? Like, I'm not even processing what happened.
Yeah.
Watched it again, and I still messed up.
Like the drawer with the ignition fuel and the oh man.
It was a solid show.
I'm going to if you haven't gotten into graphic novels or manga, I think we can all attest that it's a good way to spend your time if you need to spend your time somehow, right? And
I have a lot of Green Lantern graphic novels, and I also have some mangas as well.
Yeah,
that was great.
If you want to get into Batman specifically, Hush is a great one to start on.
Yeah,
Hush will get you into the Batman universe and keep you there. Anything by Jeff Loeb, like Dark Halloween, or Longest Halloween, or Dark Victory, that will keep you in the universe. And then just play around with what you like, because it's definitely a cool way to spend your time. So
it's immersive.
We're gonna let you two take the final one.
Was that your 2?
That was my 2. Graphic novels and records.
Just to finish on that, also, I also collect. Well, I would say collect. I think again with mainstream manga, I believe I have the original Naruto series, and from the book standpoint, it's 1 through I believe 27 is the original, and then 28 on is Shippuden. So that's my main one. I do have a couple of also Death Note. My brother got into Bleach. I never got into that one.
Yeah, never got into Bleach.
And then when I really started getting into the Flash about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe it was 5 years. I have a couple of the comics of that too.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool. So the last one is actually both of ours, but I'll let you go because you're the bigger one.
Pop vinyls. Good Lord.
Funko.
Funko Pop vinyls is my big thing right now, and I've calmed down a lot.
A lot, boy.
I was
get a little scared there for a little bit, Richard.
Hey, how was your day today? I bought 11 pops.
I would go pop hunting like every day off. I had like a route I would take of all the shops that sold pops in the town. I'd take it and I'd go there just to see if they put out any new ones, or if I could find a chase, or is very addicting, and because at first, I had space. So I was like, I have so much room for these. I could just throw them wherever I want. And now I have, between me and my girlfriend together, we have over 350 pops. It's a lot. And anything ranging, I think I'm missing 6 of the Power Rangers, and there's over 60 Power Ranger pops. I have anything from Power Rangers going into a lot of DC characters. I have a lot of Batmans. Going into Marvel, I have a lot of the Endgame pops. I have a lot of the Infinity War pops, and then a lot of anime too. That's where me and my girlfriend's kind of combined. Is I have a lot of Dragon Ball Z, and she goes into, we have a lot of Attack on Titan and Sailor Moon and My Hero Academia. We have all the fairy tale pops, and she collects Disney pops as well. So we have a good bit of Disney pops. And then we're talking about signatures. I get a lot of my pops signed and put them up in their own protectors, which is always the best thing to do, is bring that pop there and get them signed by the voice actor, especially our favorite ones. Obviously, if we don't really care about a voice actor or something, I'm not going to bring a pop to spend $60 to get it signed.
Right.
I can spend that $60 on like 5 more pops.
Yeah. Real quick, for those of you who don't know what a chase is, you want to explain that real quick? I know you mentioned it.
Yeah, so a chase is a variant of a pop. So they'll come out with a certain pop vinyl. Let's say it's Jim Halpert from The Office. I actually got the chase version of it, and the chase version of it's almost exactly the same, but it has 2 O's drawn on his face, and he's the Facebook Jim from an episode. So they're almost exactly the same, but there's one minute detail just a little bit different, and they'll have a sticker on it that says Chase. And normally I think they're like 1 in 6 or 1 in 12. I think depending on how the rarity is, that you will find it 1 in 6 or 1 in 12 chance of getting it. So whenever you can get one, it's really cool. I've only actually seen one out, what they call the Wild, and that's like you just going to, and what mine was we went to Walmart, me and your brother Cameron went to Walmart, and just to go look, just got off work, and he got there a little before me, and we were looking around, and there was the Goose the Cat from Captain Marvel, and literally right behind it was a Goose Chase, and my mind was blown. I couldn't believe.
It was like first try too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like the first place we went straight to the Pops, and it was like 11 at night.
Yeah.
And we go there, and this is the only chase I found in the wild. Most chases I've gotten are from like pop culture shops. Like they specialize in selling these things.
Shout out Flashback Gear in Beaufort.
Yeah, shout out Flashback Gear because that's where I got the Jim Halpert one. I've got a couple other chases from there too. And I love those guys. They actually had 3 of the Jim Halpert chases, and I'm like, hey, I've been working. I haven't had a day off. I will come here tomorrow. I get off at 4, and I'll come straight there to get it. They're like, okay, I'll hide it for you. Just make sure you get here. So as soon as I got off work, I ran over there, and they had it for me, and I was too pumped for it. So I love The Office. Yeah. But, chases are really cool. I only have maybe a dozen chases. But, they're more expensive as well because they're harder to get.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
They're more expensive than the originals.
Yeah, they're not always. Yeah, they're not always super expensive to get. Because sometimes they're just not valuable. Like, people don't want them. People aren't interested in them. And those ones are always, I'm not interested in them either.
Yeah.
Like, I went to, what's it called? The game place, Dave & Buster's.
Yes.
And me and Jamie, we never spend our points. We just go to play the arcade games. We have thousands of points. And I just walk in there one day, and I'm looking at their pops they have there, and they have a Rick and Morty chase. 2 of them. They had one Rick and one Morty, and they were both chases. And I'm like, well, I got to get them. I got the points. And they're right there. I can't pass up saying, hey, there's chases in a freaking Dave & Buster's. Yeah. So now I have the only Rick and Morty pops I have are chases. But it got to the point now where I'm like, ooh, I'm running out of room.
Yeah.
And we'll try to post a picture of what my room looks like.
I might use that from now.
Yeah, because I have over 350 between me and my girlfriend, and she just pre-ordered all the new My Hero pops. So I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to put these pops.
Yeah. I think what's the website you use to track the
Actually, I used to use the Pop Price Guide, which is on the computer, and I would sit there manually put everything. Which I liked about the Pop Price Guide is you can actually put in the condition of the pop if it was out of the box, if the box was in bad condition, fair condition, great condition, mint. But now I kind of moved out of that, and I have the Funko app on my phone. And anytime I get a new one, I can just scan the barcode at the bottom. It'll find the pop for me, and I'll just hit add to collection. Or if there's a pop I want, I have a wish list, and I can search for the pop and just put it in my wish list. So my wish list right now is just the Power Ranger pops I'm missing, which are all the expensive ones.
Yeah, and that's like the cool, but also how they get you type of deal. Like, I know a lot of the times they'll come with one, and then they'll come with like exclusive that has one minute difference, kind of like the Chase. Like, I have 2 Tony Starks from Endgame. One of them is a Target exclusive. That the only difference is it glows in the dark.
Yeah, that is it.
Which is cool, but it's like the same exact design, same exact everything. Except
if you looked at them together, you cannot tell the difference.
Like, that's how they get you.
Glows in the dark.
And then
I have a lot like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually you were telling me the other day you're like, I just got all the Spider-Man Far From Home ones or Homecoming, one or the other, and then like a day later they released like a very specific Spider-Man and like a winter holiday jacket or something, Christmas jacket or something sweater. Like that. So it was like very tiny things. Like now I gotta go get all those, Yeah,
well, Jamie, she likes collecting all the Spider-Man. So we have Spider-Man from lots of different things. And not only Spider-Man pops, but we have like a corner in our game room that's like dedicated to Spider-Man. We have Spider-Man toys, we have pillows, masks, I bought her this giant Tom Holland. She also loves Tom Holland banner, right? It's like life size of him in the Spider-Man suit without the mask on for her birthday. So, but that's really how they get you is when you think, hey, I've gotten everything from a collection. A couple months later, like, guess what? A whole new line came out for the show, and you're like.
And see, when I started collecting pops, which I don't anymore, I have a few that mean stuff to me that I've held on to over the years, like a black and white Woody from the 20th anniversary of Toy Story, an Elron pop that Richard gave me. Really, the only time I get pops is if Richard finds one that might be sentimental to me, and he'll get it. Because previously, I was a pretty intense pop buyer. I wasn't like trying to collect for any other reason other than like these are these are cool. So like,
yeah, like all the Buffy vampires,
which are all vaulted. Like, you know, whenever I lost my collection during a move, and when I went back to, because I just wanted the Buffy the Vampire Slayer ones back. Like, that's all I wanted. I just wanted my Buffy collection back, and I would have been fine. It's like Vampire Spike went from like, you know, the $30 where it was whenever I was collecting to like $90, $100 just for a pop.
Yeah.
You know, Buffy, the original Buffy pop is $120. Like, it's just, to me, it would be cool if I had my collection back.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be worth it starting over again.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I have the season 1 Stranger Things full collection. That's when I wanted to get back into pop hunting. So I went out and I found every variant and every whatever you could for the first season of Stranger Things. Then after that, it was just like, I got so sad, man.
Yeah.
Like, my horror collection of
he
pops.
had a lot of horror.
I had all of the originals, like, and then their variants, like
Freddy Krueger, Chucky.
I had the Ghostface. I had almost every rendition of the Xenomorph from Alien and the Predator from the Predator movies.
That's great.
Like,
Yeah, well, he's the one that got me in it. So he had a few dozen, and he kept telling me, "Hey man, you need to start collecting. You need to start collecting." And I specifically remember telling him, "Brandon, I don't have time for fucking toys. Okay, I got other stuff to worry about." And then one Christmas, maybe like 4 years ago, he buys me and Jamie and Pop. He gets her the Little Mermaid and gets me a Super Saiyan Goku that glows in the dark.
Yeah.
That's all she wrote. Okay, now I
And here
have
we are.
over 350 of them.
Yeah, that's another interesting thing with Pops. Is like they've blown up so much. Like they've been around for what, like 10 years?
they
I think
started coming out around
since
2010.
2010. Yeah, I think
Almost 10
2010.
years. Yeah. At least in my world, my life, it feels like they've only popped up like big time in the last couple of years.
Okay.
But I know just like with you, I think your Tenya Ida you bought for what, $12?
Yeah, I bought Tenya for the
Like 10,
retail
11.
value. I think it was $12.50.
Now what it's worth.
110. I just checked.
You know, they just keep they can go up and down. Like at one point.
Oh
it was
yeah,
70,
at one point it was
100.
like $175 for them, and I was like blown away. I was like, this is like
Mhm. And that's
10
another.
times as much as what it was originally
He's
worth.
the lamest character.
Hey,
Just
no, he's not.
Yes, he is.
But we also have him signed. We went and got him signed. So, you know, it's always hard to place value on things like that because some people might not want the signature, right? Like, no, I just want the pop and mint condition, nothing on it. And for some people, that's when you get in it and it's weird. Some people, to them, having that signature on it makes it worth way more money.
Yeah.
So, like our Tom Holland signed Spider-Man, it's like a box lunch exclusive one. It's not really expensive. Maybe $15 to $20.
Yeah.
But now it's signed by Tom Holland. I've seen people selling them online for $250, $300.
Until Tom Holland sends out a risque text and he loses all of his fan base.
And yeah, that's
It's gonna happen.
That's really interesting with any type of collecting. I think some collections people will do because like sentiment or like they like it, but others they'll do specifically for the money.
Yes, and that's
Oh,
like
there's flippers.
and I don't like
Yeah,
that.
Flippers are real.
And I mean, depending on your market, you can make some real upside on it. Like I think baseball cards, or any kind of sport cards in general, but I think baseball more.
Yeah, it's all
specifically.
about the system. Like, if you don't know anything about baseball cards and you have a lot, you said we talked about going to the thrift store and just thrifting your things away, and then someone else is going to find it like, oh my god, they're selling this for like $3 and it's worth like $300
Yeah,
and they
'cause
don't
if you
know
don't
it.
know, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
here's another thing that people don't think about. I think the most profitable flipping, if you're not
Houses.
flipping houses, if you're not flipping houses or
Flip
something
this
that
house.
costs hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
the most profitable thing to flip in our generation, shoes.
Shoes,
Really?
Shoes, my dude.
You mean like
I managed a Hibbett in Atlanta for like 2 years, and it was awesome because I love shoes. But it's crazy. So like Adidas has lines of shoes that are very popular. Nike has lines of shoes that are very popular. You know, if a Jordan colorway comes out in a certain year, because they do their shoe models in years, right? So kind of. So you'll have like the Jordan 1s, 2s, 3s, all the way up to I think they're on now 33s. So like every year I think they release one, or every other year. It depends on, because back in the day it was the shoe Jordan chose to wear, his shoe, and it would release every season.
Gotcha.
So you had to run to the store to get them. So now we have the internet, we have apps that you can resell on, all this kind of stuff. So I'm going to go to the store and there's a certain color. You know, it's usually like a base white shoe with like another color. Usually your darker blues, your reds are going to sell better because people are going to wear blue and red.
Right.
It's all about matching. So if you go, for instance, the Jordan 11s, which are a shoe he wore in Space Jam.
Okay.
If you can find the colorway of that shoe and the original release of that shoe, It's like $500-$600, but you only pick it up for $190.
Yeah.
That's automatic.
So people will go and buy multiple of them, right? So
Multiple.
That's crazy.
yeah.
So now they
sell them
exactly
on, like, for way more because they'll sell out. Because they'll sell out.
We had a line of these specific shoes called the Adidas NMD Japan series, and they were a solid color, and it would be the opposite, like, so if the white shoe, a completely white shoe, but there would be black Japanese writing on the bottom.
Yeah.
Or a complete black shoe with white Japanese writing on the bottom. Those shoes were only selling for $160, and they were flipping them for around $500
Yeah.
on the release, and it's like, this
Now,
is
for
crazy.
those like with shoe releases, do you know if are there ever any instances where it's like, hey, we're gonna release a shoe, but there's only 500 made, period?
So yeah, but that's like for like for a limited run, those are usually collaborations.
Okay.
So it would be like Nike and Supreme, Nike and Off-White,
Gotcha.
Converse, and whatever. But what the process is nowadays, because flippers and people who are just trying to sell mass quantity of shoes, they go by a lottery system.
Oh.
So I know at my store you could only buy one adult men's size, one adult women's size, and one child size.
Okay.
You couldn't get two adult sizes, you couldn't get two children. Like, that was just how it was. And then after the first initial release date, right, after a certain time, like, I would send out a phone call the day before the shoes release to be like, hey, the shoes are coming out tomorrow, are you going to come get them? Yes or no. I would mark them no. If they said no, then I would call the next person who put in the lottery ticket for that same size, like, hey, we still got that 9, do you want it? And then, so past 11 a.m., if you haven't come in to get your shoes, they're going to be sold.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I know a guy who did that with consoles. Same time the
Right,
console
you can
came
do
out.
it with anything.
Yeah, he would go and buy 3, 4, 5 of
A
them.
couple days ago.
Yeah, when I can say his name.
Yeah, but still.
Gregory. No, I'm kidding. That's not. I don't know what Gregory.
We should start coming up with random names for people that we're trying to talk about.
You know who you are if you're listening, but I'm not going to tell you.
Felicity Jones.
And he would buy like 4 or 5 of these consoles when they dropped, right? And then he would flip them right afterwards because he knew they would sell out.
Yes.
Yeah, big time. Especially
Big
the new
time,
ones.
yeah. And then sell them for more. I'm like, man, that's dirty.
But back
dirty as hell.
But back to Pops, it's easier to do that because if you go into a
Oh,
Hot
people do it
Topic
hard.
and there's a release of a pop
Yes.
at Hot Topic and they haven't even unboxed it to start putting it on the shelves, there are people who will buy that entire box.
Yes,
a lot
I've
of
seen it. I follow some pop things online, like pages where people are like buy, sell, trade, where they'll just talk about it and they're like, hey, I'm selling this specific pop, it just came out, and you're looking at the picture with like they had to date it and whatever, so you know that it's real, and with their name and everything, and you'll see that he has like 7, 8 of these pops,
Yeah.
and you're kind of like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why are you buying all these pops when literally people are trying to buy them, but now they can't because the stores don't have them because you're over here buying
And it's
of them.
easier to do that with Pops, like I said, because they're less expensive.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
if you're
man.
coming into a shoe store, if you're coming into a record shop,
like a regular size
$100.
pop is going to be like $12.50 for
Right.
like an exclusive,
Right.
and so you're thinking, okay, this person's going to spend less than $100 and get a whole bunch of them,
Exactly.
and then turn it around, and guess what? He's
and even if you
marked
put
up
a
the prices.
$3
Yeah.
markup,
Yeah,
that's you're
but-
still gonna make.
Oh, but it's never that.
Yeah.
That's big time.
Yeah, never that. It's always like double, sometimes triple the
Yeah.
price, like almost instantly. Like they'll be valued at on the market. Like even on the app, sometimes when something first comes out, the app will be like, hey, there's not enough information to put a value on it yet, other than like retail value. So it'll say that, but then as soon as it does get all the information from people selling it online, they'll be like, hey, yeah, this pop was $12.50 the other day, and now it's $60.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
people are like, hey, I'm
So-
selling it for what the price guide says.
Yeah, that's crazy too. There was so I'm into gaming, right? And I buy PC mouses and stuff. So a gaming mouse. There's a brand called it's probably been past over an hour. I think it's fine. I'll skip this. And so the mouse brand is called Final Mouse, right? They're pretty notorious for making really good mice. Just watch out for the Twitter account because they don't know what they're doing. Anyways, so
Shout
they
out to the
had
Twitter account.
they had a collaboration with Ninja. They made a mouse called the Ninja Air 58. 58 meaning it's 58 grams. That's how light it is. And when it comes to gaming mice, the lighter the better because it's just easier to move and aim. So they came up with that, and I believe the number of mice they made was 50,000. They were released on December 1st last year, and so they had 2 colors, cherry red and cherry blue, and there was only 50,000 made, and I think within 2 hours they sold out. But then it took them like 4 months to ship them, so they messed up there. But what's pretty cool about these limited ones is each individual mice has a haiku written on the scroll wheel, and they're all different.
Oh, that's really cool.
So I'll show you mine here later. But a lot of people get it and they'll kind of try to translate their haiku, and it's like 50,000 haikus on it. Each mice, everyone's different, everyone's unique,
wow.
And I believe it was selling for $90 when it came out. Not even a week later, they were going on for 500 more. So I mean, it's an exclusive mouse, and it's a really good mouse. So that was a big time thing. I wanted to get the red one, but the red one sold out within the first hour, so all I could get was blue.
It still looks cool.
It is
still
really
a good
cool
mouse.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
So that's kind of like the flip that just kind of depends on the rarity of it all.
Yeah, I mean, we live in a culture that it is a very, very real way to make money to flip things. Like we've watched shows about people buying expired
milk.
No, storage containers.
Oh, yes,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
Storage wars.
Like that was like a really huge cultural phenomenon. Like we literally were watching people resell other people's stuff
For cheap.
and I mean that's like a real way to do things. I mean Gary Vee talks about going to garage sales
Yeah.
and asking for
I saw him get like a Thomas the Tank. And
I mean, and he only made like what $15-18 profit, but
Well, I think he made a lot more actually.
No, I think
in
he
that
made a
specific
lot
one,
more.
he bought a whole box of trains
Thomas stuff.
for I think like $30 or maybe $7.
It was $20. It was $20.
Yeah,
He was like,
20.
"Hey, Dad."
That's right, 20.
Yeah.
And then the one individual Thomas sold for $47.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm
way
pretty sure he
off.
made more, but still, the point stands.
Yeah, like I mean, that's just a
Like,
go.
I'm gonna do that next week.
He was talking about going on to Craigslist, going on to Facebook Marketplace, and finding the
free stuff
pickup for free, and then just selling it.
on
Like
Facebook Marketplace.
yeah, so it's just like things like that. It's a real grind.
Have money,
But then
go
that
out.
affects the collectors. That affects the people who are trying to do this for themselves, who want the satisfaction of completing a collection, and that just it kind of takes away, but it adds to. You make money, but you also get your stuff.
Yeah, and by the end of it, if you're collecting just to collect, like for the art of it or the chase of it or whatever, if you get to a point where you don't want it anymore, you can sell it all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can probably make a pretty good profit margin off of
chunk.
that.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
like everything, most things at least nowadays, it's like if you buy it today, it's probably worth more in 10 years.
Yeah.
With some things, not everything.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
And who knows, Pops might deteriorate, they might come back up, or
The great Beanie Baby crash, right?
yeah, the big
Right.
But in Pops.
Yeah, I mean, but with anything, like,
But Funko's been around since like the 90s.
Yeah, so
they don't
they're fucking bad, but they're doing good. They got a lot of stuff though.
They got a lot, man.
Yeah,
They're like
for me-
everywhere. It's crazy.
everywhere. Yeah, for me,
They're gonna be
the
in McDonald's.
Happy Meals, yeah, you can say little mini ones, keychain ones. For me, the collections I do is anything Flash, Avengers, and those are the big two ones that I want to collect, like every one possible. I think out of Flash, I have like 9 Flash Pops, and there's about 52, just because of so many variations.
you're almost there.
Yeah.
You're really close.
Because they're just like the DCU. There's like different words. There's like
Yeah.
5 of the same Flash, like one has a mask or a different outfit or a different logo on it or whatever, and then you have like Flash and Batman, the Red Death.
Death.
It's multiple, and Green Lanterns and all that stuff. So those are the big 2 ones I collect for pop vinyls. The other sub categories I do is Marvel's Defenders, Breaking Bad, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And then I had 2, random ones from other stuff. But when I think the very first pop I bought was a Flash one, and then my grandma went to Books A Million, and I guess she thought I'd like any pop, so she grabbed like the first 10 she found. They're all like Star Wars, and I'm like,
I have them now.
yeah, I gave them to Richard. Shout out, Grandma.
Shout out, Grandma.
Love you, but they're just like 10
Your mom's gonna
pops.
snitch on you.
Yeah, that's fine. She'll be here next month.
Sorry.
Go on. So, but it's definitely an interesting thing. I don't think I've ever gone on a hunt like you said, but I mean, I'm sure that was exhilarating.
Oh, it's always entertaining, yeah. I mean, but to a point, like I said, I slowed down a
Significantly.
tremendous amount because it got to the point where I was going so often that I was just seeing the same things. Like releases were happening, people weren't restocking on things that I wanted to find. Where I'm like, okay, well, this is the same thing that they've had the past 5 times they've been here. So, like Target. Yeah, Target's great, but that's just how it was for me. Is now I'm trying to finish each little collection. I have a rule where I'm not going to buy things not in a collection that I already have now, just so I can curb the money spent.
Gotcha.
But
Sorry.
that's just how it is. That's just how it is.
It'd be like that sometimes. They really do. Just want to ask or address 2 more things. One, we were looking at the comments for some previous videos, and Vagrant asked, if Brandon moves, how would the podcast continue? And to answer that, we have two possibilities.
That's an easy answer, Vagrant. I am two people in one, so I'm going to be leaving my shell of a body here and my soul of a body across the country.
Yeah.
But more specifically, I think we're going to try Skype. If Skype doesn't work, we're going to just try to figure something out. I'm not going to not be a part of this. This is something that I love to do. This is something that we love to do. Mm-hmm. This is something that we achieve together. And I believe that this is something that I'm going to continue to have a passion for. As long as they have the time and the patience to deal with the move, I don't think it will be a problem.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It'll be a slight transition period, but nothing bad after that. And then someone else, actually two people mentioned that Richard's mic was echoing the last episode, and we think we've addressed that with this episode, but I guess if we haven't, let us know.
Only one way to figure out. We're working on it. I think the biggest thing is just us trying to do better. We're getting more equipment. We're really investing in it, so it's just going to take time for us to really come up with the funds to be able to just buy everything we need, because we can't just buy it in bulk. We have regular lives that need attention, so we're buying little pieces as we go, and I already think that we've made big strides with this being our sixth episode and all the things we have, and there's going to be more. We're still looking at getting a mixer and some lights. Another another. Ooh, I'm stuttering. Another mic, some headphones. I hope you all continue to watch and see the growth that we're making, because it's something that we find enjoyable.
Yeah, and I think we can all three do one of these if we want to. I have a personal, cordial invitation to our podcast that I want to extend through podcast, just to make it a little bit more whatever.
President Trump, if you want to be on this podcast.
Okay, yeah. Maybe when I move. I would like to cordially invite Justin Smith to our podcast. I know we've been talking in personal DMs and stuff, but I want it to be known that he does some cool stuff. He knows a lot of cool stuff about some cool stuff. And he's a really interesting person. I don't know if you know Justin.
I don't think so.
He comes into the shop. You might know him, but
I might.
Really cool guy. So that's going to be somebody that I want to extend an invitation to.
Yeah, he does a podcast, I believe, himself.
He might, but
channel on YouTube.
I know that he definitely goes and does and sits down and talks and is definitely willing to do it.
Definitely need to get some guests for some interviews and stuff.
So,
yeah, he'd be really cool.
You got anybody you want to shout out?
I'd like to shout out myself. I'm trying to be better on social media, so if you start adding me, I'll start posting.
I'm going to use this as a personal plug.
Shout out me, man.
Definitely. Just real quick before we end it off.
Who else making this dream happen besides us?
We want to know in the comments, what do you like to collect?
Yeah, what do you like to collect? So we could talk about that too. So I'm always interested. People collect weird things, man.
Big time.
Don't talk about the weirdest things, though.
No, talk about the weirdest stuff you collect. I want to know. You collect grains of sand from across the world?
I collect strangers' toenail clippings.
Okay, maybe keep that to yourself.
Oh, shit. All right.
Okay, this is the end of the episode. We really hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. So we're always going to be trying to do better with working on our production quality and making sure that we're getting out really good original content to you, just so you guys can be a little entertained while you're doing something. Down below, we're going to have a link to all of our social medias and our Patreon. Anything helps at this point, especially with us trying to get better production quality. So be a part of the Paper Bag family, and we'll do our best to keep in contact with everybody and try to do our best to make you feel as welcome as possible. As always, I'm Richard Knox, Aliyes, and Brandon. If you want to shout out your own social media pages?
Yes, you can find me at loadeddiaper420 at hotmail.com. Not really, though. I don't know who that is.
Don't email that.
And I am Aliyes on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Ciao. 6.
In the extended Shrek cinematic universe, it is implied that ogres actually do not sustain themselves on traditional food, as we humans know. So it could be very well possible that she does not have to eat, albeit that would be very unpleasant. Just another case in which the movies aren't as good as the original manga. As said by Avery Deloach. God, I had to include that. And you have to put the Avery Deloach part too.